Double P Podcast is proud to present
Z, the first podcast you listen to after you watch
Y the Last Man. I'm Bubba, and with me as always is someone who will never give up, never surrender. It's Catfish.
Oh, Bubba,
Yeah.
I see what you did there. You snuck in a Galaxy Quest for Missy Pyle. I love that reference. Bubba, I am so pleased to be covering this show with someone I like to know as Bubba Appledick.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
Edit.
spreading your seed all over. And we are talking about Season 1, Episode 10, Victoria.
Oh man, I am going to be like Johnny Appleseed because I got a pot on my head right now. Catfish, this was an episode that wrapped up the first season, which ends on a cliffhanger in the story of the show, but also in the show itself. Will it be picked up by another streaming service? Crazy. It's leaving all these Y the Last Man fans in a very precarious state. So I want to know, first and foremost, what is your rating out of 10 for episode 10, Victoria?
Well, Bubba, are we going to talk about like sort of business stuff a little bit later, or can I cover it now?
Whichever you want to do. I'm
All right, so you talked a lot the other day about the show being canceled and why. And, I have to confess, sometimes you go on. And I just, it's like Yorick, I just kind of don't pay any attention. What I discovered this week, and I was surprised to find out, is that really what this was tied to was because of COVID, you have a certain time in which you have to pick up people's contracts. You can pay more money to kind of extend your decision time. But they were in a little bit of a bind here with Y the Last Man due to, the show being delayed for COVID. And so that's it. They had to pick up options on people's contracts. It was costing them about $3 million. And I believe they had to decide by like episode 4, episode 6. It was a little early. So they usually hold on to shows a little bit longer, but that's the reason for this. But Bubba, when they hold on to people, they can really hold on to them. Because I did a show for Amazon, and I talked to one of the regulars on that show, and she was like, yeah, they held us for a year.
Wow.
I asked them if I could do, I booked a movie. I asked them if I could do that movie. They said no. So that's why those options are expensive, because theoretically they can tell you, no, you just get to sit at home and make no money, which could be a good gig. Or if you're in your 20s and you're trying to get your career rolling, could be a bad gig.
Man, well, that's why I keep saying that if Hulu or FX on Hulu or Disney Plus, however you watch this show around the world, if they would just leave it in their library, it's going to find viewers and it's going to grow. And you're going to be thinking in a year, oh man, we should have kept that show going. It really is going to grow. It does have kind of a good hook. And I keep saying a good cast. And so it's crazy that this deadline, which is a pretty penny, has left so many people in limbo, including all the listeners to our podcast. So thank you guys for downloading and listening. And hey, we're going to continue on and talk about this show like we always do. So
we got people, but people got to move on. People got, people want to move on with their careers. We've got the very successful showrunner. We've got some writers. Now, at least for this show, they brought in some new, fresh people who are writers, but they also might catch on whether the actors might catch on. So once you don't pick up that option, not only can people go away, but you can't hold them to their original contract terms.
Ouch.
Money. You want me back to be the president? Money. All right, Bubba. So I'll get right to it. My rating out of 10. I gave this episode 7, what I like to call double Ps.
Wait. Double Ps?
Yeah, polluted pools.
Oh.
Look, do you know how hard it is to get the pH balance right in a pool?
Right.
That takes a lot of effort.
It does.
So if you're going to shoot somebody, please shoot them away from the pool.
Nah.
Otherwise, we can't have any rave ballet scenes
Come
in that
on.
pool anymore.
Are you sure we can't?
I feel bad for Yorick. He doubled his number. I used to have a friend who was like, this is horrible. He was like, to ladies, like, what's your number? And I'm like, oh God, please. But he was one of those religious guys, so his number could be like whatever, and he didn't want his any of his paramours to have a number over like 5. I'm like,
Lord,
yes, the crazy religious upbringing. Anyway,
yes.
One of Yorick's paramours, she gone. The other one's a terrorist. He's got great taste.
Wait a minute. You say he has great taste because he picked one who would soon be dead. He knows how to pick them. Because he picks them and then they're dead.
He knows how to pick them.
Oh, my God.
We finally got some, I've been asking for I think since episode 1, essentially, almost every podcast I've said, are we ever going to find out why Hero-ible is so horrible? I'm now including Yorick. I used to say Hero-ible, now it's no.
Okay.
And now we found out their dad is a total dick, and we can also assume that what we saw in a previously on, where Hero says that her mother told her that she was a selfish, horrible human being. That's probably what her mother whispered to her at the dinner. Great job, Mom. You really seem like Dad was the asshole, but you really came in and swung for the fences.
No. I think her mom, Hero's mother, Jennifer Brown, soon to be President Brown. You know what I think she whispered in Hero's ear that really broke her?
What was that?
You can pick up the check.
Oh, no butterscotch dessert for you.
Oh,
we have seen so much of these people.
Yes,
but. And the action was exciting. I loved all the action, and we moved some chess pieces around. But my two biggest problems are, one, we've gotten to this point, and I don't feel like I've seen Hero brainwashed. That one I had a real problem with their decision there, because I didn't feel like it was set up. Again, that's just me. The other thing that I had a little bit of an issue was this show, and I've been talking about, maybe we'll get more information. This show is really... They shouldn't call this Why the Last Man. They should call this the Culper Ring.
Oh.
Because they are really hitting hard on that.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of like, let's find out what's going on. Also, if the Culper Ring was really watching them, there's a couple points where maybe the Culper Ring could have stepped in when they were in some serious shit.
Are you kidding me? Hold on. I'm a watcher. I'm not a doer. I'm paid to watch.
I've heard that about you.
Hey, now, wait a minute.
So, it's cooking.
It is cooking.
There were some things that was like that I was a little concerned about. So forget about me, Bubba.
I do.
My feelings are so incidental to this podcast. Tell me what you felt.
Well, Catfish, I think this episode really represents the entire season, meaning this episode contains some of the high highs we've had this season. And admittedly, there are a couple of things where I think it hit the low lows that we had in this season. But I'm going to focus on the high highs. And I'm going to give it 8, what I like to call triple H's out of 10.
Oh, wow. 8 triple H's. Oh, the 8. Wait, what?
You can't guess what the triple H is?
No, I can't. It's Heroes, Horrible, Hedonism?
Very close.
Okay.
It's the thing that emotionally moved me the most in the episode. Is that a better hint?
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Well, as you know, we here in the Why the Last Man community, when we say Triple H, we're really referring to whole-headed Hoedown-and-Chill.
Oh, no. Oh.
When Hoedown-and-Chill got a hole in her head, I was heartbroken.
Oh, so that's really quadruple H's.
I'm glad you picked up
Heartbreaking, Hoedown-and-Chill, hole in head.
So, hey, 8 out of 10. Enough silliness. Let's get to it.
Okay.
I'm talking this represents the high of the highs. There was a moment right in the middle of this episode where 355 wakes up and she slept through the night. She hasn't slept walk with Dr. Mann there as the sandbag on her arm. It was just a nice moment. The show had built to it. The show had established, hey, this is how I'm going to defeat this, and Dr. Mann helping. It was like a really nice moment. And so it's like, oh, that's cool. That's a great character moment for these two specific characters. Then 355 looks over, and there's a tracker on the windowsill. And it's like, oh, snap, flashback Fran is here. All this crazy stuff. And then the Amazons start attacking Marysville. And then the mayor, this nice white-haired woman of Marysville, comes out and drops the mic by saying, you don't know who you're messing with.
I love
Agent
it.
355 is getting ready to go wreck shop. And I was on cloud 9. I'm like, this is incredible. This is what the show can do. This is exciting. I noted it because it was so ridiculous. I actually did get up on the edge of my seat because I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's go. And so it was just thrilling, exciting, those kind of moments.
All right, so 10 out of 10.
Well, hold on. So they build to those moments, and you get excited as a viewer. It had to build to that moment because there are other moments in this show where it just really hurt. For some reason, President Brown has gone with Beth to Beth's parents' house, we're going to assume. Suddenly, it's night, and somebody's breaking into Beth-trayal's house. And, oh my God, who's breaking in? What's going on? It's Sam, because reasons. Wait, what? Sam is in the house, and you're like, okay, why is Sam here? And then suddenly...
Sam knows Beth. That was clearly established when we got the backstory all the way back in episode 10.
that he knew Beth. Yes, that he knew Beth. But he knew Beth's parents? Didn't he seem to say he was looking for the president? And so naturally you would go to Beth's parents' house? I mean,
You're missing the mystery here, Bubba.
Yes.
Where's the woman from the schoolhouse?
She's there too. If you wanted Sam to suddenly become part of this story, don't have him break into Hero's house, which makes no sense, her parents' house, which makes no sense. Just have these people break in, take President Brown and Beth-trayal. They wake up in a room and suddenly Sam's there too, right? You know, like it's suddenly, okay, these people have been captured. They're thrown in with somebody who captured Sam. Oh, wait a minute, it's the Culper Ring. I mean, even that's maybe not too logical. But I
was going to say, I don't know if you'd be happy with that either, Bubba.
Well, it's not too logical. I mean, somehow I'm willing to accept that. Like, okay, these Culper Ring are really kind of watching everybody, including the president's daughter. And oh, wait, here's this person who was with the president's daughter and Sam. But Sam showing up at Beth's parents' house, it hurt me. I didn't see any logic in it. You know, I'm saying, it's not great logic that the Culper Ring would capture Sam and then throw Beth-trayal and the president in with him. But I could kind of squint and try to find some logic there. You tell me, why did Sam show up at Beth's parents' house?
Because he just knows that he's trying to find Beth. And the last time he saw Beth in this episode, he's trying to find Hero. And the last time we saw Hero in this episode, she was with Beth.
Okay, so I'm being way too tough. Like I said, I went 8 out of 10. I want to get back to the fun moments that I loved.
Okay.
So ignore all that. And I'll say 8 out of 10, the great moment that I talked about before, and the great action, which I'm sure we'll cover in detail when we get into the episode.
Great action.
Right.
Great action.
You know, great moments, great character payoffs. So that part was 10 out of 10. Round it all up, it's 8 out of 10. Hey. We love to say it. We've said it every week. We don't care who cares what we think? What we think doesn't matter. What you listeners say is what matters. We want to know what you felt, not only about episode 10, Victoria, but the whole first season of Y: The Last Man. We have been waiting over a decade for this graphic novel series, comic book series that we love to make it to our screens. They've done it. They've done a pretty darn good job of it, even if, we get picky at times. And now we want to know what you think. Write to us on social media at PHQ. That's the word double. The single letter P is in podcast. HQ for headquarters at PHQ. Twitter and Instagram. Facebook.com/PHQ. If you're listening to this on YouTube, leave us those comments below. Tell us what you thought of this first, we hope, chapter in the story of Yorick, 355, and Dr. Mann. Woo!
Well covered, Bubba. You're like a professional.
I'm trying. And, hey, we want you to subscribe and follow along with us on social media and on these streams because you can keep up with what we're doing. In just 8 weeks from today.
8 weeks.
8 weeks. We'll be covering the Book of Boba Fett. And likely, you're going to see Boba Fett hanging out at Jabba's palace when suddenly somebody's going to break in. He's going to pull his gun. And who's breaking into Jabba's palace?
Is it you, Bubba?
No, it's Sam. Because he's looking for President Brown, Hero. No, I'm kidding.
Did we see Boba today? Wait, Bubba, are you telling me that in the throes of my hangover on January 1st, I need to watch the show? We need to do a podcast?
Well, Catfish comes out December 29th. Now, I know you like to celebrate New Year's Eve early.
I mean, basically from Christmas Eve on.
You're just drunk and lit.
All right, Bubba, I'll do it if you say so.
Okay, on the 29th. Is that tough?
I won't be on a beach in Maui, which is where I'd rather be.
Wouldn't that be great?
Why not?
That would be great.
Yeah, it would be great.
But not only are we doing Book of Boba Fett, we're going to start on December 29th. That coverage is going to go into 2022. The year of 2022, we talk about Pack Podcasts. We're just going to be doing podcasts like Pizza. We're covering the miniseries Magpie Murders, Season 5 of The Last Kingdom. Andor Season 1, 1899 Season 1, Obi-Wan Kenobi Limited Series, House of the Dragon Season 1, Babylon Berlin Season 4, The Crown Season 5, Mandalorian Season 3, His Dark Material Season 3. Woo! That is a lot of shows we're going to cover, and maybe even more. Tell us if we're not covering a show you love. let us know. We're always interested in the greatest shows on TV. Catfish, you've been talking for a couple of weeks about a great show known as The Chestnut Man. Why not? What's great about it on Netflix?
Bubba, I love the Scando Noir, Scando murder stuff. It was especially delicious this summer in Los Angeles when it was so hot, just to see a continual amount of snow. I love what they do. It was a great murder mystery and fascinating. Mm-hmm. We give people give Netflix a hard time for their original content for good reason, but they do pick up a lot of great foreign shows. In fact, it seems like most of the buzz they've been getting recently has been for their foreign shows, but also one of your favorite shows, Virgin River.
I think that's foreign, and our Canadian friends gave us that.
Build that wall. Keep out Virgin River.
Okay. Hey, we're being silly. Once again, listeners, be silly with us at WPHQ, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/WPHQ. Catfish, we have got a lot. And we normally on the show, we talk about whether these three focuses. We have got kind of a lot of focuses. Do you want to cover, and I'll give you the choice, do you want to cover our flashback dinner with most of our heroes before the event which took out all the Y chromosome creatures? Do you want to follow our trio of heroes, Yorick, Agent 355, and Dr. Man? Or would you prefer to follow the fall and rise of Daughters of the Amazon? Of course, we could talk about President Brown and Beth-trayal's roadshow. And finally, there is a very short scene, very fun scene.
Yeah, let's knock that one out first, and then let's go to family dinner fun after we handle Kimberly and Christine.
Living in a barn, just like, who are those home improvement people, Chip and whatever?
Dale? Oh God, no.
Chip and Joanna Gaines. They're like Chip and Joanna Gaines.
It's horrible. I watched the Discovery Plus. Joanna, I keep saying Joanna, you can't have everything. She's got like cooking shows now. She's got everything. Joanna's trying to rule the world.
She is.
And the whole world's going to be covered in shiplap. I made a nice roast. It's got shiplap encrusted.
Lord. Yeah, I go to the supermarket. She's got magazines there at the checkout counter. She is crazy. But
Joanna, leave something for someone else.
Right. But if you're going to live in a barn, why not go with your bestie? Or in this case, Christine.
Oh, man.
So this scene, in some ways, might actually be my favorite scene of the whole episodes.
I love it.
Because it starts, and we've suddenly switched to FX on Hulu After Dark. Mm-hmm. Did I interpret this scene correctly? Where Kimberly, who is just Amber Tamlin, tip my cap to her. She is great. She's been wonderful. But is she having a wet dream? Is she getting busy with Yorick in her sleep, Catfish? How did you interpret this incredible opening to this scene?
I mean, if it's not wet, it's extremely moist.
Okay. That's going to get us an adult rating.
Just because I said moist?
That's pretty much it. Yeah. And so, wow, you've been joking about it, but I didn't realize that the show would go there. And I actually love that the show went there. She is having a wet dream about Yorick. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Admittedly, this does give me some questions. I'm like, they were in a Pentagon that was attacked by an angry, very unfocused mob. But somehow they got out of there, and they got so far away from the Pentagon, they found a barn. Okay, fine. But Kimberly has, she had her mission in the first half of the season. I want to be in the room where it happens. I want to be at the table. My dad was president. The people voted him, and kind of my dad's thoughts and ideas have been dismissed. And then she had a thought of, hey, President Brown, gaslit my mom who killed herself. You need to be thrown out. But underneath all of it, she's been a mother, and she's been interested in Christine's impending childbirth. Also, underneath everything, she's been a woman who loves men.
Mama's got a brand new bag, baby.
And so she's seen the future. All we need is him.
Whoa.
Ba-da-da-da. What do you think, Catfish? Tell us, wrap up your feelings on Kimberly this season 1.
Kimberly was great. And then I felt like she was replaced by our favorite anti-hero as far as the big bad.
You mean former President Regina?
Yes. Briefly President Regina. In fact, I think she was actually, let's just call her never president. I don't think she was officially ever sworn in.
Okay.
But I mean, I would be fascinated to figure out what their plan is. I mean, one of the other things I read in that article that possibly you said that I wasn't listening to was that they did have a 5-year plan for the show, completely sketched out. I believe I talked about on another podcast that I feel like that has become a lot more common now after Lost sort of lost its way, no pun intended.
Oh, yeah.
And so for people to produce a show, they want to make sure that kind of people know where they're going. Mm-hmm. With the last show we talked about it, Penny Dreadful, City of Angels, I felt like that kind of slowed that show up a little bit because they thought we're going to fill in a lot of backstory and didn't really cook enough. I feel like in some ways maybe that was the same case here, that it could have cooked a little more. Mm-hmm. Which kind of leads me, as far as Kimberly goes, I'm not sure where Kimberly's going, but that kind of leads us naturally right into the next scene, which is family fun dinner night.
Oh boy.
Because I think you might have felt the same way. Is that this is episode 10? Why are we getting this backstory now? I was glad to see, realize forever. I wondered, why Yorick and Hero were so Hero-ible.
Right.
And when we first saw the scene, I thought, I don't know why they hate their mom, because their dad is clearly a major league asshole. It's funny because the one time we saw him, he seemed really reasonable. But you could tell he's a dick here, and kind of makes sense now where Yorick gets his mansplaining from.
You're calling him terrible because he was at dinner with his family and he was focused on his phone?
Well, also,
I wanted a bigger laugh for that. I thought that.
I'm sorry. Okay, go say it again.
No, you ruined it.
No, say it again. Come on, I'll give it to you.
I'll
give it to you. Come on. No, I can fake a real laugh. Come on, give it to me.
No.
Come
Listen,
on,
later tonight, I'm going to be having a dream just like Kimberly, where I say that joke again, and then it gets a huge laugh.
Well, those are the kind of laughs you get when you're involved in that kind of experience that Kimberly was having.
All right, terrible.
Boom.
But how about this? How about this? So, number one, let me real quickly say on Kimberly, this is a character who was not in the comic series, who they created for this show, and they did a great job. So, tip of my cap. I salute the showrunner, Eliza Clark, and all the writers and everybody, and once again, Amber Tamblyn, for making such a fun, great new character in this story. So now let's jump to this flashback dinner. I couldn't focus on Hero-ible or Father Brown, whatever his name is, but I was focused on Beth-trayal. I was like, who is this? This is the person we never knew. And in some ways, I'm seeing her and she's happy and she's not a terrorist in these early dinners. And the one thing I thought was that, why didn't this happen in episode 1? Why wasn't this how episode 1 began? Showing this dinner. So, once again, we want to see how the world is before, how the world was before this terrible event killed all the Y chromosome creatures. I think you could have had this scene in episode 1. And then Beth-trayal's little notes about how she is, I don't even know the right word for it. She is somebody who's these people in power are just terrible. Capitalism has its flaws, which it does. But then I think when Beth-trayal's Pentagon raid actually happens, I think it then would have been fun to look back and see, oh, I suppose she did have hints of anti-authority stuff back in episode 1. The fact that it's here, it didn't help Beth-trayal, in my opinion.
So here's my question to you, Bubba. On one hand, I'm glad that we finally got some answers to these questions. But on the other hand, and I think your point is, I don't want to say brilliant. Brilliant is too much, as always, for you. But
yeah,
to have seen this before would have planted some nice seeds and answered questions that we didn't need to have. We didn't need to wonder the whole time why Hero wouldn't go join her mom.
Yes.
Or why there was a hassle within the family. That didn't help in any way. It put an obstruction up. Why do we have to think about this? Why do we have to assume something? And it would have laid nice seeds for the future, for sure.
As this dinner, we keep cutting back to it. We actually cut to some version of it 4 times. And the third time we cut to it is where it really comes to a head, where Father Brown is asking his daughter, hey, you think about applying and going back to school? And Hero-ible is defensive. There's nothing wrong with being a paramedic. That's a fine thing. If somebody's like, are you going back to school? You're going back to school. But then Yorick, in some ways, he certainly didn't mean it, but Yorick set this up for disaster when he goes, oh, Hero's dating somebody, and Hero fought it for a bit, but then Yorick says some line about Hero-ible is normally pushing the limits of alcohol consumption. Was he talking about her or the people she dates? Either way. And that's when she opens up and says, hey, I'm dating somebody. He's married. Their marriage, as far as I know, is still going strong. And her parents are shocked and disturbed. She says, hey, Dad's effing his TA and I'm the a-hole. And she also has a great line, Yorick, why don't you back me up for once in your life? So once again, that could have possibly seeded some of the issues that Hero had to deal with the Daughters of the Amazon if you stick it in episode 1.
I think what the problem is, and if people didn't have this issue like I did, then maybe they won't come to the same conclusion. My only conclusion is, since I didn't buy her kind of being brainwashed and I didn't buy her interaction with Hero at the end, is that they want this to be fresh to give Hero a reason to be not cool with her brother. And so this has to happen now. Otherwise, we don't understand her turn, which that's a good call. Was kind of wishy-washy, where it's like, okay, I'm going to save you, but run because I'm going to come and chase after you. But still, it would have been so much better. And then we see her mom is like, she's having real issues. And her mom's like, I know people in this restaurant, so keep a lid on it. I mean, these are the kind of things that, like, they're fine. We completely understood it.
Yeah.
It would not have killed anything.
I don't think so either.
To have this earlier. The only thing, as I said, that I think that it does is it kind of supports. I still don't believe it, but it would, because it's so fresh, you can kind of believe what Hero does at the end.
Right. Yeah, no, it's interesting. Here, I'm being so finicky about where it was placed in the season, but it does answer the question. So I guess, having it, you had to have it in this season when all was said and done.
If you're saving it for the last episode and you've been keeping a secret, then that secret should be really important. Why she hates her parents.
Right. That is
that secret's not that important.
Because we didn't know, I think it allowed our brains, or I'll just speak for myself, it allowed my brain to suddenly think, oh, what if it's this? What if, what terrible thing has happened? And then when you see it's just like a brutal dinner, which sadly I think a lot of people have lived through, but maybe a lot of people have lived through terrible dinners and still, when the world ends and their mom has resources, would say, you know what, I'm going to go into my mom's. I don't know.
Just because Yorick says she's always been selfish, whatever, that's not going to make her go, oh, I'm so glad to see you. I will make sure nobody kills you now, but get the fuck out of here, and I'm not coming with you. So that one was just... What this scene also does, this whole family dynamic, also shows us why Sam knew to go to Beth-trayal's house. So that's really the important thing.
Right, because I saw them have dinner once, and then I saw Beth and Yorick leave real quickly, and I had to hug Hero. So obviously, because Beth and Yorick left real quickly without their mother, Senator Brown, I'm going to go to Beth's parents' house. Yes, okay, listen, don't pick at that scab too hard.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone.
It hurts so much. But what's funny is it once again shows a strong moment between Hero and Sam. And so it's like we see that, and then we think about how terrible at times Hero was to Sam. Where maybe...
At times?
Okay, all right. How about this? After one season, can Hero be redeemed in your eyes, Catfish?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think anybody can be redeemed. I mean, what has she done? What has she done that's so horrible? I mean, she didn't. She's selfish. She was a dick to Sam, but she didn't sick anybody on her brother. She hasn't actively done anything. She wasn't like Nora, who was like, I'm gonna wipe this trash, aka Roxanne, off the bottom of my shoe.
Okay.
She's redeemable for sure.
Okay, all right. Hey, listeners, once again, what do you guys think about Hero-ible? We have been tough on her all season long. Once again, this is not the acting. She is doing a great job.
Oh, she's fabulous.
Portraying this very conflicted character. It's just, man, tough character. Very tough character. Good shot, though. Let's give her some due. Good shot.
Love it. Bam.
All right, Catfish, do you want to go to the Daughters of the Amazon, to President Brown and Beth-trayal's roadshow, or back to our heroes? What do you want to touch on next?
Let's go next to President Brown. I really want to end with a bang.
Okay, so how do we? Let me say this. we realize that Beth-trayal has brought the president to her house and that she was a rich kid. There's a picture of her like as a kid on a pony, right? I mean, hello. So this was
Well, apparently Hero was too. That was that was one of Yorick, one of his compliments. You're a good writer, something like that. I was like, oh God, Yorick, do better, my friend.
okay. Beth-trayal, who plotted and helped enact a raid on the Pentagon. There's no question that she did it. But now, second thoughts, she's trying to save the president. And in fact, is trying to hide the president and saying, hey, you got to cut your hair. We can't have your appearance. And President Brown, who I love, once again, Diane Lane, boy, talk about a great actor, great presence on this show, almost needs to do more. They need Diane Lane in the show more. But President Brown asks the questions that the viewers are asking. What the F happened to you, Beth-trayal? I mean, seriously. And then Beth-trayal, who is trying to save the president but isn't going to take any lip, snaps back, a lot has changed since you locked yourself up in your fortress, okay? The world has changed.
Oh, man. Beth was really upset she didn't get to go to Australia, But
has she seen Australia? I mean, come on.
I know, right?
Do you know how far you have to go to get to Ayers Rock? I mean,
oh, man, it's a long way.
Great Barrier Reef is, forget.
Don't worry about Beth, though. We'll find out about her motivation in season 2.
Okay, listen. I think I've gone on it a bit too much, but Sam showing up really kind of hurt.
It's really sticking in your craw.
It is. It's a craw sticker. And so anyway, there's a van around the corner. Is it yours? And then they're under attack from what we can kind of tell is a new unknown enemy. We previously had the unseen, really unknown enemy that attacked the Pentagon. But now there's a different group. Later, at the very end of the episode, President Brown is in a Linda Ronstadt t-shirt. Love that choice to have the president in a Linda Ronstadt t-shirt. Sam is there. President Brown is there. Beth-trayal is there. And they're locked in a room, and there's a security camera watching them. And then, we are really getting into the renaming of the show, the Culper Ring Catfish. You are 100% true. Flashback Fran is there. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that's Agent 545, who we saw get into a fight with 355 just a couple episodes ago, right?
Man, they are moving everything around the board. This Culper Ring is very important. That's all I'm going to say. Don't look at me like that. They are very important.
Yes, they are. They're the mysterious them. Who is doing this? The mysterious them is doing this. They're the ones controlling this, pulling the strings, being evil. I admit I'm intrigued. This is obviously a setup for where the story intends to go in season 2. Are you intrigued by this twist of the Culper Ring, who, once again, put Agent 355 next to the president because of a credible threat, and now they've grabbed what we can only assume is the only surviving president? They've got control of them. So what do you think? Are you intrigued by where this story could go in season 2?
I absolutely am. I mean, this is, when I do my own flashback to the comics, there were a lot of different storylines going on, and I don't remember the Culper Ring, at least as far as the beginning goes. Let's say we're, a fifth of the way through the story or whatever. That they were as accentuated as they are here. I mean, what was essentially happening was 355, Dr. Mann, and Yorick were stumbling their way across the country to great complications to get to this lab in San Francisco without contact, really, from the Culper Ring.
No, that's exactly right. And now, at the end of this episode, I mean, we'll cover them fully in a bit, but now our 3 heroes are seemingly going to meet Flashback Fran and the Culper Ring, be reunited with the mother that Yorick is heartbroken that he is going to meet again. They're pointed towards each other, or will there be another roadblock that'll prevent that reunion from happening?
Oh, well, maybe they wouldn't actually meet back up with the Culper Ring until the end of season 2.
Yeah, I think that would be a smart way to go. I'm intrigued as well. I obviously have groaned a bit too much about how these 3 characters came together and ended up here. But once again, the Culper Ring is a smart idea. If you're looking at the original story and you want to improve the original story, this is a fun way to do it. And maybe you feel like you need to do fun new twists to the original story because you don't have the budget to really do the scope of the original story, which really did flash around the globe an awful lot in that comic series. So
it did, but one thing that I also agree it's smart to make the Culper Ring a little bit stronger here, is in the comics, it felt like they were kind of throwing some things up at the wall, and then they just brought in a lot of it wasn't just they're going around the world. They kept on giving us a lot of clues to this is kind of why I started the Suspect of the Week, because I kind of thought the show would follow the comic book in that every once in a while we'd get like is this why it happened? Is that why it happened? And the show has really de-emphasized the reasoning why. It's more about whenever anyone talks about it like Dr. Mann did tonight, it's more about the effects of it on the world and not how it started.
That is exactly correct. And if you want the audience to be saying, well, wait, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did all these creatures with Y chromosomes die? You need somebody on the show to be actually asking that question. You need to be saying it. And I believe, once again, I made you, Catfish, kind of read the beginning of the comic series to be ready for this podcast. Well, I wanted to kind of go in fresher, and I didn't reread it. But I'm pretty sure the comic itself kept asking, why did it happen? Or I should say the characters kept asking and saying, hey, we want to find out, why did this happen? Why did this happen?
Right.
And the show just doesn't.
Yeah, the show is focusing on the Culper Ring and the actions more than, because the next natural question is, why did this happen and how do we fix it?
Yes, of course.
And again, that is presumably what our terrific trio is going to do, but now it seems like they might have an alternative, which is to join up with the Culper Ring and see what their plans are. I mean, Dr. Mann is well, I don't want to jump ahead to what happens with the end of Dr. Mann, so why don't we jump into the terrific trio now?
Well, hold on. If it's okay, I want to hold them off to last.
Yeah, sure.
Because they're the story that I enjoy the most.
Oh, so we disagree, because I love the Amazons, what I like to call the shootout of the Amazons versus getaway drivers. all the women in this prison they were all just getaway drivers,
right,
with great facilities for gunmanship.
Well, okay, sorry. No, let's do it then. Let's go to Agent 355, Yorick, and Dr. Mann. If you really like that one the best. We've been building on it for a couple of weeks. The episode begins with 355 waking up in the damn street as she's having another dream about Flashback Fran. And it is tough to see our hero have this weakness. Agent 355, you and I have raved about Ashley Romans, about this the actress, about this character, about everything they've done. And she does have this weakness. Once she kind of gets back, Dr. Mann knows what's up. Dr. Mann knows she's been sleepwalking again. And so Dr. Allison Mann, she's there with Ampersand, now looking at the monkey, and she talks to 355 about, with the ticking clock that Earth has in this universe, there are all these Y chromosome creatures that they won't be able to save. R.I.P. Sundarat, the mouse. Bunnies are about to be gone.
Oh, no.
Dr. Mann says, and I want to quote this, she says, you think he knows how effed we are? He only knows about crackers and flinging his own shit.
Oh, man, that is a cold burn on Yorick.
Wait a minute. She was talking about Ampersand.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. You know, she's had some one-on-one time with Yorick. Maybe she knows something about his proclivities that we don't. All right. Okay, Ampersand. I guess that makes sense.
Well, okay. While we're talking about this monkey, Ampersand, this monkey is in the comic series, always gets up into hijinks and does kind of play a big role in it. When you're dealing with a computer-generated animal, which looks incredible, this show really did incredible work to make this digital creature look realistic and lifelike and in the scene with all these characters. Do you think the show utilized Ampersand to the best ability here in season 1?
You know, it really felt like in the comics, it's funnily, I mean, they really fleshed out the characters in ways that we've really been focused on other characters, and I have to give them kudos for that. There's so many characters that we know a lot about and that we care about. In the comics, even though he's with 355 and Dr. Mann, it really feels like, and I'm only being half facetious when I say this, that really Ampersand was Yorick's soulmate.
No, that's completely true.
They got up to hijinks together, and he was really, he was really a lot more in the show. But, you know, in the comics, we didn't have so many different characters fleshed out, building the characters in this world.
Agent 355 and Dr. Mann, who got off on a real rough foot. Dr. Mann gets off on a rough foot with, it feels like, a lot of people. We see their bonding. 355 is opening up She's not this closed book. She's opening up and revealing, stories about how she's been dealing with this sleepwalking for a long time. And she sets up the only sleep she's ever had where it worked was a sandbag on the arm. So that's they're bonding. Hoedown-and-Chill is bonding with Yorick. And Yorick claims he's only had one. Only one. He said he and Beth-trayal got together when they were very young.
Beth's number is 9.
Terrible.
Including Yorick's father.
Is she the TA? Oh, no. All right, so no wonder she wanted to get out of there so quick.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want him to see me looking at my phone every time I text Dad.
Oh, get to Australia. This is a bond that these three people have. So Yorick, after hanging with Hoedown-and-Chill, he's with 355. He tries to compliment her by calling her the super spy version of his mom. Is that a compliment? What do you think from Yorick?
Only in that Yorick doesn't hang out with very many people because he just doesn't have his shit together. So I think what he's trying to say is that 355 has her shit together. His mom has her shit together. His dad does not. His sister does not. No. He doesn't have a lot of friends. He's got a pet monkey and does magic. How many friends do you imagine he has?
Imaginary or? Okay, so Yorick, he's asking 355, or not asking, kind of, soft pedaling the push of, hey, maybe we can stay in town. 355 snaps back. We can't stay because there's this pretty girl in town. Yorick, do you really think Dr. Mann can fix this? And of course, Dr. Mann hears this. Everybody's going to have doubts. What if she can't fix it? And so even though it's a going away party, the people of honor, 355 and Dr. Mann, they really can't enjoy the party. And we see Dr. Mann come in and act as the sandbag on 355's arm. Hoedown-and-Chill. She is with Yorick, and this is the longest, bit of flirting there is. And I always used to get mad in previous episodes where Yorick would kill the mood. And then Hoedown-and-Chill ruins the mood by saying, I wasn't a getaway driver. I killed somebody. And if time was more like an ocean, then you wouldn't just be able to pick out one moment. Everything would get mixed together. And finally, after learning she's killed someone, Yorick kisses the girl. Finally.
He is very attracted to women who stand up against the man. Democracy or just men.
Hell yeah, Yorick. You go, guy. All right, so Yorick, we assume that it wasn't truly FX on Hulu After Dark. We assume he's now doubled his number.
Whoa, 100% success rate.
And Yorick is there with Hoedown-and-Chill when all the bullets fly. We're going to leave 355 off to the side for a bit. We'll come to her in a bit. But when the bullets start flying, what does Yorick do? Yorick does what he always does when bullets fly. He gone. He's like, I'm out of here. And so they find out about these silos out of town. They could just hide and meet there when who shows up? Hero-ible on her horse in her cowboy hat. Mm-hmm. She's there. She fires and misses, thank goodness, Hoedown-and-Chill, who fires back and hits Hero in the arm. Ouch.
Oh, man. You know what? I mean, I can forgive Hoedown-and-Chill for killing that man. I'm not sure I can forgive her for missing Hero.
Terrible. But Yorick, once again, we want our hero Yorick. If he's not going to be the action star that 355 is, and if he's not going to be the brains that could possibly save all the world and keep us from extinction like Dr. Mann is, he has to have a purpose. And so his purpose on the show is almost to be the soul of the show. He doesn't want people to die. And so he stops Hoedown-and-Chill from killing his sister. They have a moment here, and, I've been so tough on various elements in this show, but this is a great moment. When Hero sees her brother, realizes he's alive, then has this snap freak and starts telling him everything, including their mother is dead. And Yorick has to hear this. And of course, it would devastate him. It would devastate anybody. The time on the show gets a bit crazy to track, but at the least, just a month ago, he was hugging his mom. He was there and seeing her. And now to be told that she's dead. And then R.I.P. Hoedown-and-Chill. Oh my God. I mean, this is emotionally crushing for the heart or soul of the show, Yorick. And so I really did think this was a great moment, great scene. Hero telling Yorick to run. Maybe as an audience, we're still confused about this. Like, Hero, we know you don't want to kill your brother. Why not just not kill him? Why not go with him? But she can't do it. The show can't allow her to do it. And so instead, she's just tells him to run and then takes out the other rider so that Yorick can escape. And Yorick, once again, for a character that a lot of people have had some trouble with, Yorick, when she tells him, you're going to run, who's going to kill me? The Amazons, to create the New World Order. Doesn't Yorick have some response like, what the blank are you talking about? And I thought that was great. I thought this moment in the show was really great. 10 out of 10. How about you?
I just loved when he said to her, what are you talking about? You come with me.
Does he say, come with me?
No, that didn't happen.
Terrible Catfish. Well, why didn't he say, come with me?
Yeah, that's my question.
Well, because guns. He can love his sister, but if there's guns, he'll love you from a distance.
You saying he's like Hero? The bullets start to fly, and it's every sibling for themselves.
Oh, my goodness.
These are good people. All right. So, yes, moving on to 355.
Let's go to the Daughters of the Amazon now.
Let's do it.
Because 355 kind of gets embroiled in their storyline for a bit. So let's just start
All right. So,
you take it. This is your favorite story.
We got Nora and Roxanne hanging out together.
Butting
Two great
heads.
tastes that go great together.
Oh.
Say Max won't have to grow up to be someone's wife.
Yeah,
there we go. Congratulations.
That's what Roxanne was pitching. Like, hey, your daughter Max not going to have to grow up to be somebody's wife. Isn't it great? Oh, man.
Nora and Roxanne, they're there at the pool party, the indoor pool party.
Love it.
Before the pool becomes the polluted pool.
No.
They're plotting the invasion. They're going to go get this man.
Yeah.
These two older women come in and they pull the guns and they're like, I like it. They're like, hey, this is our spot. We've only been gone for an hour. They back down quick.
They do back down quick.
Yeah, no, when they realize their only job here is to give Hero the information that writers invaded the Pentagon and shot the president.
You're saying these two old women are like, our job is done.
Yeah. They're like, that's all we have to tell you. I know no one cares about this information. No one here is related to the president, but this is your information. Do with it what you will.
Hey, get out of the pool.
By
the way, the president's dead.
Guys, everybody out of the pool. Just 1 minute. Silent moment. No splashing. Let's honor the president. Just a no splash zone in honor of our president.
Okay, listen. I know I shouldn't do this, but when you pointed out just now that they back down so easily, this episode is episode 10. You want to build tension. Go ahead and have some daughter of the Amazon kill these two old women, right? I mean, okay, yes, the Daughters of the Amazon are focused on getting revenge against men, but why not really set them up as a credible threat and a violent threat? And just have them kill these two old women who instead backed down and went where? They left the pool house.
Well, what if they shot them and as they were dying, they're like, one of them says, I know where Sam is. And then she says, Sam is, Would that have made you happy?
No, it would have been better if they get kicked out of the pool and then they went to the school and said, well, we'll just sit here in the school.
And play the piano. Right. And then the woman comes in and goes, stop playing the piano with wet fingers. The last person who played it so well. His name was Sam. I know where he's going. He's going to Beth's. Do you know Beth?
Okay. All right.
So the Daughters of Amazon then have a rave in the pool. I was like, what is going on here? It was amazing. Some nudie swimming in the pool when Nora and Hero-ible bond. Hero-ible is slightly sad about her mom's death. Roxanne is kind of chirps at him. She doesn't want them to hang out together.
No, she does not.
And then she's still trying to be macho. She's crying about the Pentagon. Not Nora's fault. Tomorrow we move into our new home.
Dang, that was a very good Roxanne Catfish.
That was pretty good, right?
That was pretty good.
Nora says to Roxanne, don't talk to me like that. I thought we were celebrating.
Oh,
now,
my
this is going to set up another one of my concerns later on.
Let's
but
hear
we'll be there very shortly. No, we're going to get there pretty shortly.
Okay.
After the rave, Nora wakes up and discovers that Max had her period. she says essentially, congratulations. And Max like, for what? And Nora's like, I don't know. That's just what my mom said to me.
Right. I'm sorry. I think that's what her mom said. I have to be honest. I don't remember a character of Max in the comic series, if there is one. But I love this bond between Nora and Max.
No, I don't think there was. The thing about the comic is, and I was shocked to realize this as well, is that we lose Roxanne early, and it's essentially Hero that takes over. There is no real, like, there's no Nora.
Oh, wow.
So Nora here is a way to sort of have a connection in the past to Hero and to the president. So this is Nora it's great the way they set her up.
Yep.
For some people, anyone who might be surprised to know that Sam knows Beth and where she lives, and that one seems a little awkward, they set up this nice kind of triumvirate so that Nora and Hero can kind of take over, and Nora is uniquely positioned. So that was some excellent world building that they did in the show that's not in the comic. But we lose Roxanne rather early in the comic.
Right. And this daughter, Max, I think is a great character as well. And I love this bit of dialogue between them where Nora's telling her daughter, you need to be brave and strong. And the daughter's like, Mom, you sound like Roxanne. And then the mom, Nora, says, no, Roxanne sounds like me. Oh, snap. Love it. Love that connection.
Yeah. Nora's really coming into her own.
Yeah.
But I think the show thinks she came into her own more than I did. And that's another tease for the same issue I have that I'll talk about later. So the daughters of the Amazon march their horses into town. We hear you got a man in town. And the mayor pops up.
Yes, and I love this mayor character. I apologize, I don't really remember the character's name. I think they've maybe said it once on the show. But this actress has a great presence. She is a good authority. And I called it a drop the mic moment when she says, you have no idea who you're dealing with. I loved that moment. Hail to the year.
Yeah, this is where I thought, fake real meet real here, okay? Because as we all know, Roxanne, her past connection to the law was season 13 of Law and Order.
Awesome.
These ladies had a more intimate knowledge of the law and also disorder. That is fabulous. They do a little bit of, I don't know why they really hit this. Like, these women, about 4 of them are looking in the same spot, which is away. Nora notices 2 or 3 times that these 4 women are looking away.
Yeah.
But never says anything. So that was I thought that part was a little, I don't want to be too hurtful, but a little heavy-handed. I mean, like, have one person look and maybe Nora noticed, or maybe Nora noticed too late, but they set it all up and I really didn't feel like there was a payoff for it.
Well, I didn't mind Nora noticing that these people they thought who were at their mercy. I like that Nora did notice that hey, they're looking around. And I don't mind that Nora didn't say anything, but I think maybe if Nora had not said anything, but immediately started taking cover.
Yes,
you know
exactly,
what I mean?
exactly. She didn't say anything.
This isn't going to go the way we think it's going to go.
And didn't right. If you wanted to accentuate the fact that she noticed something by having us see her look 3 or 4 times over there, at least have her recognize I need to protect myself here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Now, while this is happening, Agent 355, like I said, she's heard this gunshots. She's about to go wreck shop. And then she does a quick act. She's like, oh, don't hurt us. Don't hurt us. And
she's smart. She figures it out because she tells the person that she's in the house with, no, put down the guns.
Right.
So then she does her poor helpless act.
Yeah.
The suckers, them so good. All right, go for it.
Good. Now, the Marysville crew have totally got the drop on the Amazons, and all hell breaks loose. And I loved the poor sucker Amazon who got dragged back behind her horse. Hell yeah.
Sure. Why not? It's been a long time since I've seen a Tom Mix movie. And that's where I really thought, this town of getaway drivers really seems to have a handle on weaponry.
Yeah, and defensive positions and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
it's the Magnificent Seven all over again.
Now, all this wonderful action is intercut. My favorite single moment, even though I actually do like Athena, I like teasing her, the name Athena and the character a bit. But when 355 circle kicks Athena and then shoots the ground, which scares the horse to throw off the rider. Loved that moment. But I did have a question for you, Catfish, about this moment.
Let me have it.
Agent 355, she has taken out Athena with a kick. She's knocked this rider off the horse. Why didn't she award any medals to these fools?
Oh man, that is a great question. I mean, if there was any time that people should have gotten medals,
yes,
it was here. Maybe 355 is starting to pick up on Yorick's thing, because Yorick was like, let's try not to hurt people. I would think that'd go all out the window when people have their own guns. I always say better safe than sorry. 2 in the heart, 1 in the head.
Oh, really? You mix it up a bit
style.
there.
John Wick style.
Okay.
I mean, if you mix it up, you can do 1 in the heart, 2 in the head. I mean, sure, whatever you want.
Listen,
3 for safety.
I like 1 in each knee.
Oh man, so
no,
painful.
I'm kidding.
All right, so Nora's caught in the crossfire here.
Yep.
Mac is hiding behind a horse trough. Someone gets shot, and Mac says, "Mom, I can help. I'm strong." And I was like, and I wanted to say, I don't care how strong you are. There's live bullets flying out there. But Nora's like, okay, give you the nod. I'm going to empower you. Mac helps drag a body behind the shelter.
Yeah, Joni. R.I.P. Joni. We hardly knew ye.
Yeah, no, I didn't know her at all. I didn't even know her name.
They said her name a couple of times. If they said it in the past, I don't remember. But yeah, in this episode, they were saying Jody, no Jody, as she was dying.
On IMDb, it looks like a recurring role, and she has a name instead of a job. So that's even better.
Oh, no.
All right, 355 makes her way into town. She's got a sniper rifle.
Hell yes.
Here's where things are pretty awesome and a little interesting.
Okay.
But still not the part that I have a problem with.
Oh,
so
okay.
Nora sees the writing on the wall, and she's like, okay, we surrender. All right? So they surrender. Roxanne is allowed to just storm off angrily.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It's like,
I put it in
all right, let her go. She may have a gun and she may come back, but yeah, it's all right. She needs some time to process taking the big L here.
I put Roxanne is out of bullets and out of fucks to give.
She is out of fucks to give.
Because it cuts almost immediately from this, and then we see Nora in what I thought was like a laundromat, but it's some part of the pool house. Did the women of Marysville just say, okay, you guys tried to invade us. Get out of here. We'll see you next time you try to invade us. Wait, what?
Well, my thought was it felt like that they had told them that they kind of had them trapped in there. They were like, instead of putting you in jail, we're going to put you in the pool. And also, what we're also going to do conveniently is still let you have weapons that have live ammo in them. Well, I didn't think about that till just now. Bubba, what were they thinking?
What if they thought, let's send him back to the pool. Those 2 old ladies will take care of him.
Those 2 old ladies, they're still there in the corner. Sam.
Wait, have you heard about the president? Oh, you were here before.
Sam, their dying breath. They're still wheezing Sam's location under their breath. All right, so
okay.
Hero comes in and is like, hey, my brother's still alive. And then who says their friends died, Hero?
Okay. So Nora and Hero, we've seen their bond develop. They met, was it in episode 3? Or they met really early in that drugstore, and Hero saved Mac or helped Mac when Mac had that terrible cut. So we've seen them bond a lot. Roxanne is still upset that she took the L, that people quit. And Nora's of like, you didn't follow plans. You went in, just guns blazing without any brains. And look at all these people are dead. These other women here, these other daughters of the Amazon here in the pool house are just devastated by this terrible loss they suffered. And Roxanne perhaps is doing the right thing by trying to cheer up these women and saying, hey, no. Yes, your friends died, but they died heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
they got medals, so it checks out. They did have heroes. Maybe I would have liked to have heard a little bit more of Nora running Roxanne down more.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the rubber hits the road and Nora makes her transformation to Victoria.
Love it.
Saying that's her real name.
Yep.
She points the gun at Roxanne And other people also have guns. The people of Marysville really not worried about all that. Should we take their guns away?
Nah, that would be a lot
let them
of
have their
work.
guns.
That'd be a
Let them
lot
have
of
their guns.
work.
Maybe they'll take care of themselves. And they're right, because Victoria does take care of Roxanne. But I'm not quite sure I bought that Roxanne had been run down enough in the minds of the other people. You don't even need to be on Roxanne's side. You just have to not be on Nora's side to be like, we shouldn't be killing each other.
Oh,
so
yeah.
in other words, I'm not even sure that they weren't still on Roxanne's side, but I didn't feel like they were neutral at the very least, or like convinced by what Nora said. So the fact that they let Nora gun down Roxanne seemed a little wonky to me.
I understand it, but I also, what to say? I think that they are counting on us as an audience being done with Roxanne. And I'll have to say that Daughters of the Amazon drive me crazy, but I do love the action they bring to the show. But I've kind of been waiting for Nora to kill Roxanne for a couple of weeks now. Like, I would have been fine if Nora had killed Roxanne in the Price Max and is like, oh, it looks like Roxanne died in the fire, everybody. All right, we got to band together. And then Nora took charge that way.
Well, you've been ready for it, but I feel like Nora went from just about to be kicked out to barely tolerated, but didn't make the move from assistant to Roxanne to being seen as someone that had good ideas and was a good person to follow by everyone else. It would have been okay if Roxanne didn't see it, but at least we saw some of it, but I feel like we didn't see any of it. So despite the fact that you're ready for it, I'm not sure that the group was ready for it.
Okay. I got to be honest. I think Athena's ready for anything. Athena's like, oh, you're in charge now? That's fine. But how about this? If you didn't buy that, did you buy Nora really stepping onto the throne? Nora is taking on the throne and proclaiming their battle cry. This world will learn to fear us because we'll show them exactly who we are. It is now Victoria/Nora and Hero at the top of the pyramid. Don't you think?
I mean, I'll answer the question this way. If I don't believe that the followers have enough reason to believe in Nora, that they'd be cool with her shooting Roxana, then I certainly don't believe that they would go like, oh, okay, here's next up, Roxana. I mean, not Nora. Next up, Victoria. Sorry, Victoria. But yes, if they had believed that Nora had great ideas and Roxana had repeatedly effed things up for them, then I could see them being led by Nora.
Well, maybe because I've been waiting for it, I accepted it as an audience. And I think the show's audience would be ready for it. You're right. Have they done enough to sell us that these other Daughters of the Amazon would? Maybe not, but for me it worked. And I've liked Nora all season. So, it's tough for me to get off that Nora's right train that I've been on all season.
Well, I mean, and listen, I completely understand. You're all in on Nora's daughter's mom, Nora.
And what about Nora's daughter's mother's buzzard? That's so tough to say. It has no rhyme or reason for being said, but I love saying it so much when you created it the other week there, Catfish, that I can't help myself.
All right. Well, listen, I'm glad to start a meme or whatever that is. All right. So
it goes back to 355 in the kind of the final bit of the story of our heroes. 355 shows up in the silo and Yorick is in there. He's devastated. My sister's brainwashed. My mom's dead. Everything I touch. Sonia, I should have died. None of this would have happened if I died. He's broken, man. And 355.
But he's also right.
Well, 355, here, once again, she is a full-rounded character. She does have to show that she's not just a kick-ass machine, but that she can make these connections. And I feel like, they did have to bring together these three characters and make them really feel like a team. And I think
she's got compassion for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, even Dr. Mann is like, what if I'm not the person who can figure it out? And rather than just saying, well, you're the best shot we got, 355 is very nice. She's like, if you can't, who can? Like, you're in a very comforting way. She's like, gives her a shot in the arm.
I'm with you. A literal shot in the arm or just, wait, no.
Sure, a booster shot.
So, Yorick gets built back up by 355, revealing a bit about herself. Her dad hit a tree. He was driving in his car, hit a tree at 60 miles per hour. And just like Yorick, who thought he should have died when everybody else died, 355 says that I should have died, but I didn't. I survived, and you will too. And what a great moment for these characters at the end of this show. And Yorick, who, once again, I've been kinder to than I think some of the people online have been kinder to Yorick. He's trying to turn around. He says, I can't be helpless. I'm a quick learner. And Agent 355 maybe is a bit more like the other people online are like, yeah, no, okay. The last thing we see them is finding this car. Is that a car? Hey, that's our car. The tracker that was left on the windowsill leads 355 to this car where there's a matching tracker. In there's a map with the destination, their blood samples, and more. The Culper Ring have been watching them, Catfish. Is this...
Culper Ring watching them, supplying them, but not helping them when they got a no gunfight.
No. Why? Come on. Let's not be crazy. But what do you think? Is this a great point? Forget us. We're podcasters. See if you can put yourself in the mind of somebody who doesn't know the story ahead of time. Just found this on Disney Plus, Hulu, Star Plus, HotStar, however people are watching it. Found this show. You watch these 10 episodes. Yep. Is that going to pull you into the next season?
I think so.
I think so, too. I think
so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, again, not to be... I mean, if you got to this point... If you had frustrations with the show and for whatever reason you didn't get to this point, then that's, whatever, you're not going to move on. But I think if you got to this point, I think you're thrilled. You're ready. You're ready for the next one to start right away.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody else who might want to start right away?
What do you mean?
I mean, is there anybody who's indicated that they're ready to see the next season of Y the Last Man?
Oh, well, Catfish, it's funny you say that. Yes, there is somebody who says they want to see the next season of Y the Last Man.
Who dat?
It is the master of horror. It's Stephen King, who, as we were recording this podcast, tweeted out, is Y the Last Man really canceled? Please say not. Although far from perfect, and some scenes are so dark you can't tell who's talking. Oh, man, Stephen King, get a new TV.
Didn't see that. Yeah, come on, bro. You got all the money.
He says, Stephen King says, Y the Last Man is one of the most interesting shows on TV. Come on, Hulu or somebody, don't leave me hanging. Heck yeah, Stephen King. Let's go.
Don't leave me hanging, Stephen King.
Oh, boy.
How much freaking money does he have? You know what, Stephen King? Don't leave us hanging. You want to do it? You want to be a champion for stuff? Don't just send out a tweet that takes you 20 seconds. Buy this thing and produce it. And then someone will pick it up. That's right. I'm calling on Stephen King to save this show. I mean, what the hell? I mean, I can't save this show. I don't have it. Stephen King's got the money. Don't just swing it around.
Do not call out Stephen King. You know in his next book.
I just did.
There's going to be somebody like hunting catfish.
Bubba, he's probably already finished it.
Right. Oh, that's true. He's going to be down in the sewer saying, catfish, float down here.
No, but what I mean is he wrote a whole book during this one podcast.
He did. He had time to send out the tweet because he's like, I'm done with this book. Next bit of money, please.
Catfish. I'm getting them. All right. Well, Bubba, holy cow. That is the end of the first and hopefully not only season of Y the Last Man, but luckily, even though we're done talking about the episode, there's still some of our very own awards we have to give out.
Oh, I hope these are safe awards. If we give out awards, who knows how many characters will be dead by the end of this podcast.
Bubba, our first award is the Whoa Man of the episode. The awesomest, most interesting woman of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what, Bubba? I'm going to give you a bonus one. You can do Whoa Man of the episode, and you can also do Whoa Man of season 1.
Love it. Okay, well, the Whoa Man of the episode, the one that I will, until season 2 shows up, I'll miss this character the most, is Hoedown-and-Chill.
Oh, man.
Who is now, I think we've got a R.I.P. Hoedown-and-Chill, and now know this wonderful character as Hole in the Ground and Chill.
Oh, man. Hole-headed.
So
Hoedown-and-Chill.
She did great. She defended Yorick. And then Yorick did nothing as she got capped in the head. So Hoedown-and-Chill.
It's a good reason for men to die.
I'm saying.
You son of a bitch.
I don't want to live in a world.
I mean, I don't want to live in a world where Yorick represents all of mankind. I'll tell you that right now.
So for the episode, I'll give it to Hoedown-and-Chill, Sonia. Great job. For this season, I'm going to give it to Kimberly. Now, once again,
I love it.
Regina stole some of Kimberly's thunder. But
she sure did.
In an episode 10, where her section of the final episode was so brief, but it was so tantalizing. And I love cackling dialogue. I love going big. I love stories that have bizarre undercurrents in them. And Kimberly had all of it. So Amber Tamblyn, my woe man of the season. Great job.
Love it. Love it.
How about you? Who's your woe man of the episode?
Well, Bubba, my woe man of the episode, and people are going to find this surprising.
Uh-oh.
It's Hero.
Are you pulling our legs? What's going on?
No, saying this very incisive line. She says,
Okay.
I'm selfish, self-destructive, and cruel. Now, this is a bit of a cheat. She's relating what her mom said about her. And this line was actually in the recap, so it was in a previous episode. But I'm still giving it to her tonight for finally saying, having some self-realization. Hero-ible is my woe man of the episode. Bubba,
Yeah.
my woe man of season 1.
No, this has got to be a great character if it's the woe man of season 1.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's someone who's someone I thought was going to keep getting my woe man of the episode award, and then trailed off a little bit, not for her fault, but because they kind of accentuated other people.
I know who you mean. You mean Athena.
Yeah, I do mean it. What? No, obviously it's Agent 355.
Heck yeah.
Badass. She's really rounded in form. She's still spinning, kicking ass, and taking names, but also she showed a little bit of the soft side. She is my woe man of season 1. Now, Bubba.
Yeah.
Yorick, I knew him sorta. This is ways in which we are like or not like from this Yorick from this episode.
Oh, no.
Bubba, I'm going to go first.
Okay.
The way I'm like Yorick in this episode is I also think that sex is a big deal because like Yorick, I haven't gotten much either.
Poor catfish.
Now, Bubba,
man.
how are you like or not like Yorick? Yorick, I knew him sorta.
Okay, well, so ways I'm like Yorick, I knew him sorta, is that just like Yorick, I cried when Hoedown-and-Chill died.
No, yeah.
But ways I'm not like Yorick is that my number, unlike Yorick, who was 1 and then became 2, my number is -2.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't even want to ask about that one.
I'm being silly, but Yorick was messed up at the end of this episode, and I kind of was too. We need season 2 now. Give it to us.
I love it. All right. Before we go into our very last award for episode 10, we have to go into our very popular and more popular than us, Bubba. It hurts me to say it. Double M. Matt Murdick's music. It's a quadruple M.
Quadruple M.
Yeah, Matt Murdick's music analysis. So let's hit that first, and then we'll do our last award of the week and season 1.
Woo!
What a finale. I really enjoyed this finale. I want to thank Eliza Clark and her whole team for putting together a wonderful season, and especially to Ernest Steffensdottir for creating a score that is not obtrusive, but is also very complex in its own way. And one of the things that I really wanted to talk about, as we now have to wait for new episodes of Y: The Last Man, hopefully somewhere, is some of the timbres, meaning the instruments that Ernest used throughout the course of this season. And I also want to highlight one particular piece of music that occurred during this finale. But let's start with the timbres. Ernest has a wonderful way of using the voice throughout the course of this entire season. And not just in the fact that the voice can be haunting sometimes, or the melodies that are played can create tension or can create release, but also in the way that really her whole approach for scoring a show is to do things slightly imperfectly. And the use of the voice, sometimes the vocals aren't completely in tune with the rest of it. Sometimes they're not completely in tune with themselves. You can really hear that there's this kind of bigger sound that is created when voices don't always occur in absolute perfect unison. You never really want that, because if you add vocals to something, you want it to feel like there's more. And if everybody played the same, it would actually thin the sound of the voice. Instead, here it feels thicker. And the fact that it's not always perfect in all of these things. Don't think that they couldn't do it if they want to. In a lot of Urtis's scores that she's done to date, she looks for the imperfections. Sometimes you'll hear more of the foot coming off of a piano pedal than you will the actual chord in things. And this is on purpose. What it does is it gives everything a human element, something that I just find a great approach to scoring things. The other timbre that I really want to talk about is the guitar. There's a lot of different kinds of guitars in here. You hear slide guitar, you hear dobro, you hear acoustic guitar, and it's been used really well. Not to the point where it makes it feel like it's a rock song, but it can add an element to the score that for someone like me, who is used to hearing more orchestral scores, it's a fascinating timbre to add. And it's very humanizing in itself. And the performance of it in the piece of music that I'm going to be talking about, its time, its rhythm within the piece that we hear it in isn't exactly on the spot either. And that, again, is something that Urtis has done purposely. We hear it in the main theme when the two guitars don't exactly play in perfect sync. That's what I'm talking about. The rhythm of the guitar in this piece of music that does this like dun da da dun dun da da dun. And I'm talking about the scenes where Hero and her gang come up on the house where Agent 355 and her gang are at. There's a piece of music that we're going to talk about here that has this wonderful little guitar rhythm in it that helps to build the tension. And it culminates in this wonderful melody as well. That's where the orchestra gets a little bigger, especially when Hero and Yorick meet or see each other. But first, let's just talk about that guitar rhythm and how it fits into the piece. This is the part that I'm talking about. That movement, that dun 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 dun. Now, on the piano, I can't make myself play my hands that imperfectly with each other. It actually takes two different people interpreting the time different ways in order to do that. So you didn't get the full effect of what that guitar adds to the score by just me playing it. Not only did you not get the timbre, the instrument of the guitar itself, but you also didn't feel the tension in the time, which is what helps create the tension in the scene as well. It creates emotional tension for us because there is rhythmic tension within. So I thought I'd point that out. But the other thing is when Hero and Yorick see each other and recognize each other, this wonderful theme, which actually occurred a few minutes earlier as well, but I want to focus on how it happens right as Yorick and Hero see each other, because the melody on top of it creates additional tension. I'm talking about this part. Now, all of these notes, how do they create the tension? How do they not? Is really based on the type of scale that Urtis based this piece on. She based it on what we call a harmonic minor scale. And the harmonic minor scale has this one odd note in it that helps it to get us back to the one. It's a note that's just below the one. You don't need to know these numbers. Just know that it's the note that helps us to feel like we're back in the key that we are, more so than any of the other notes. But that note fits against the regular harmony of a minor, and that's what helps create the tension. So the melody is in a harmonic minor, while the harmony is in a regular minor, and that harmonic tension helps us not only to feel tense, but it also adds this kind of haunting sadness to it which I absolutely loved. So that's all I've got. But again, a wonderful season. Folks, let's get Why the Last Man a season 2 somewhere. And one way that you can do that is to rewatch the series. Another way that you can do that is to go out and buy Erdis's score, because when a company is trying to pick up a television show, they're going to look at what kind of buzz it's getting. We need to help keep getting this show additional buzz long after it's over, so that a new company will say, hey, this might be worth something. It's been a pleasure talking to you all season about Erdis's score. It's been a pleasure and an honor to hear Erdis's score. And to Eliza Clark and all of her team, thank you so much for doing this season. Why lives on. Let's hope we get more.
Matt, always killing us. What are you doing with us here, Matt? Making
it was great.
Making our silliness look silly.
It was great. I ended my 1 week boycott of Matt for being so mean about us and slandering us, or libeling, I can't remember, which is print and which is spoken. Libeled on Twitter, Twible. He twibled us.
Oh, no.
But great job as always. Bubba, this is it. This is our last award.
This is
for
it?
Season 1.
Oh, no.
This is it. Our suspect of the week. Every week, we get tantalizing clues to what may have caused all the creatures with Y chromosomes to perish at the beginning of the series. Bubba, who is your suspect of the week for the final episode, episode 10 of Season 1?
Catfish, I thought long and hard about who or what could have caused this disease. And I ended up going with a who. What could have caused this terrible disease, plague, whatever you want to say, that killed all the Y chromosomes. And I came up with the answer, Cliff.
Cliff?
Yeah, Cliff.
Who the fuck is Cliff?
Cliffhanger.
Oh, no.
They're giving us a cliffhanger of season 1. They didn't tell us. We've got to wait till season 2 or season 3 or this 5-year plan to find out. So I'm giving it to Cliff. That was really cold what you did to us, Cliff. That's my suspect of the week and the season. How about you?
Wow.
Who's your suspect of the week?
All right, well, Bubba, at first, I thought my suspect was Mr. Cartoon Machado. But it turned out that was an ad for Modelo and not part of the show. I think.
Oh, so we have ads when we watch Why the Last Man.
I think. All right.
Yeah.
No, but so if it's not Mr. Cartoon Machado,
okay,
I think our suspect of the week, and this is quite the shock leading us into season 2. I think it was Yorick.
What? Yorick?
Because of his Triple M situation.
Triple M?
Yeah, magic, mansplaining, and monkey.
He's got it all
Getting
down.
rid of all the men was the only way he was going to double his number.
Oh, man. Is there any way he will triple his number in season 2?
I mean, wow. All I know is that person's not going to last very long if that's the case.
Come on, one time.
Oh, man. Oh, wow, Bubba. So sad.
Hey, that's our suspect of the week. If you're listening to this, we love to say we love feedback now, but say you're listening to this a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line. Once again, please reach out to us. Tell us what you think of Why the Last Man Season 1. Hopefully by then you're caught up and ready to go on to Season 2 with us. You can reach us at double PHQ on Twitter and Instagram. That's the word double, the single letter P for podcast, HQ for headquarters, at double PHQ on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/double PHQ. Catfish, I forgot to mention when we were talking about Double M.
Tell me, Double M.
Matt Murdick. He is about to start podcasting on the fantasy series The Wheel of Time. Have you read those books?
Whew. You know what, Bubba?
What?
This is kind of a shock. That is probably the one major fantasy series that I have never read.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why. By the time I got to it, I read that, like the middle 3 or 4 books was just filler.
No.
It did. The writer passed away before he could finish.
That's right.
And one of my favorite writers, Brandon Sanderson, ended up taking his notes and completing the series in 2 books. So what's going to be great about this is I'm going to go into this completely fresh, which is, I think, is going to be cool for me.
Oh, fun. Well, it's going to be out a couple of weeks. So everybody, check out Matt Murdick's social media platform of @musicalconcepts on Twitter. He's going to be talking Wheel of Time.
Well, and who knows what we'll be covering, but Bubba, first of all, how can they what if they want to reach you personally to get upset with you?
If you are Sam and you want to know where to find President Brown in a better way than just going to Beth-trayal's parents' house. You can find me on Twitter at Fit and Trim. That's FITTENTRIM at Fit and Trim on Twitter.
And if you want to reach me because you hate me for my reaction to this episode or to any other episode, you can hit me up at CJGman67.
67?
Yeah, that's your 67th favorite CJG man on Twitter. And you know what, Bubba?
What?
Who knows what it will be? It may not be for Why the Last Man.
Oh.
It may not be for a series starting in 2024, whatever that is, based on when you're listening to this.
That's right.
But at some point, join us again on the Double PHQ Network for an exciting podcast. That's all. It's going to be an exciting podcast.
Right.
On insert your favorite show here.
Right. So you're gonna hear us possibly next time on Z, the podcast you watch or listen to after more or no more episodes of Why the Last Man.
Perfect. I couldn't have done it better myself.
Okay, let's see you try though.
Oh, I think I could. Oh, you'll join us next time, possibly, for Z, the last podcast. The podcast you listen to after new imaginary episodes of Why the Last Man.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. Somebody's at the door.
Is it Stephen King? Oh, no, I know who it is.
You know who it is?
It's Sam.
What are you doing here, Sam? No, the president's not here. I almost wet myself. I was laughing so hard when you were going off on boards. Oh, those poor women at the pool.
Sam.
Oh, those poor women at the pool. All right.